Hi folks, today's video is about creating your character's backstory and their family. So as you're creating your character, one thing that I think oftentimes gets overlooked is who your character's family is. Your character just didn't spring out of the air into nothing. And if they did, that's probably going to be a major thing in their backstory to keep in mind. But who their parents are, if they have siblings, maybe even going back and thinking about like grandparents or family lineage, that can help to inform your character, inform some character choices you're making, and also to help create a more complete, well-rounded character. So if you're creating a character that doesn't have any family, if you're creating an orphan, that's also something to keep in mind. If you do have an idea of who your family is, that's something you might mention to your game master ahead of time. But if not, how does that affect your character? Is that something that they are driven by the desire to find out who their family is, find out kind of who they are? That's a definite choice you can make. Or if, on the other side, if they don't care, why don't they care? And maybe that helps inform some of the choices that you will be making as your character. If you do have family, that's something to, maybe not flesh out. You don't have to flesh out everything with them. With Key 3, I did not have the entirety of her family fleshed out. Mild spoilers if you didn't know Key 3 had family. But I won't go into too many details for the Too Many Warlocks game. But I did have some broad ideas. I knew that she had a grandfather who was very important to her, who had passed away, and that she had some other living family. And that definitely informed some of the choices that I made, because she is aware, if you have a character that does have family that's still alive, why did they leave their family? What was it that caused them to leave a comfortable home environment? Or maybe it wasn't a comfortable home environment. Maybe they didn't fit in. So that can help inform the character and inform the choices you're making. I'm using inform a lot. And not only thinking about if your character has parents, living parents, and what the relationship was between your character and your character's parents, but also, do they have siblings? And what age are their siblings in relationship to them? Are they the oldest child? Are they the youngest? Are they stuck in the middle? Did they have one sibling? Did they have none? Did they have like 10? That can help create good motivation behind some of the choices they make. If they came from a family that was a big family that was constantly bickering, then the inter-party bickering, they either might be really good at handling and smoothing things over, or that might be something that they're just like, nope, my family's like this, I don't want my party to be like this. And so it helps create that backstory and foundation for you to help create a much more well-rounded character. Now with a character I played in our Shadowrun game, I had created in the backstory that her twin had died in one of the, I'm forgetting the term for it. I'm sure if you know the term, let me know down in the comments below nicely. But it was one of the big like internet type crash things that had killed her brother, because he was wired into it when it happened. And so because of that, just thinking over that, Tala did not want to have anything to do with tech. And that was something that when I was rolling up the character, I was like, oh, I've put nothing into the tech side of things. I put it almost all in the magic-y, talking to people side of things, because that was what I created the character to be. So then as I was filling in that family backstory, that helped fit the story to the mechanics of the character. And that's another thing that you can do. There are elements of Key 3's mechanics that I kind of, as I was filling in the backstory, it was like, oh, hey, this works out really well because it lines up with the mechanics of the character, with why she does things, and who her family was, and her relationship with them. So sometimes it is creating the mechanics to fit the backstory, but you can also do the opposite of come up with character and then find ways for the backstory then to explain maybe some of the mechanics. But yeah, that family history for Tala, I don't think it ever came up in our main game, other than she just avoided tech. Whenever tech came up, she was like, hey, I'm not the expert in this. We have somebody else on the team who is. I'm going to default to them. But we did play one side session that Ryan actually ran, and our regular game master got to then sit in and play. And the guy that may have caused that major crash was an NPC we needed to work with. And so that turned into this really interesting, which Ryan didn't know. He didn't know that element of Tala's backstory when he created this one-shot. So that created a really interesting tension because, a little bit of metagaming, I had to figure out, okay, why would Tala work with this guy? And we figured it out, and I kind of brought it up to Ryan. He was like, oh, okay. And so it turned into I'm going to take this job because I agreed to take this job, but I'm not going to have this guy's back. So that was, and made a really interesting story and moments that I wouldn't have had that if I hadn't have come up with the family backstory for Tala. So something to keep in mind as you're creating your character, if you really want to have a well-rounded, fully fleshed out character, one way that you can help to do that is to come up with family for your characters. Plus, if you do have family in the world, that gives the game master some great threads to pull on. Story-wise, motivation, if you have a bad relationship with your family, that can be oh no, the family showed up and I don't want to be dealing with them. So maybe that a negative story thread instead of a positive pushing you forward story thread, it's pushing you in a different direction. It's kind of a nice gift to give the GM and say, here you go, have fun working this into your story. Or here you go, here, I'm giving you a gift of ways to pull at my heartstrings. So if you've created any family for one of your characters, I'd love to hear about how that worked out, maybe a little bit about them. Or if you tend to play characters that don't have any family, how do you find that maybe changes how you play that character? I'd love to know more down in the comments below. A big thanks to our patrons, especially Arvi. If you want to support our channel, you can head over to our Patreon page and check out the perks of being a patron. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you hit that like button and share it with a friend. We make videos here every Tuesday and Thursday, but don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. And we'll see you next time on Roll for Initiative. Bye! What age are their siblings in relationship to them? Sorry about the dog.